Ugh. Ellen's reins. Hey, quick, over here! Yes, yes, just like that. Stay with us, Corporal. Stay with us.
What's the matter? What happened?
Tahar's awake.
Lord Marshal Arendir? What in blazes are you doing here?
It's a long story. But I'm here as an ally.
Yes, and there will be plenty of time for the lengthy explanations later. First, I want to know how you're feeling, Tahar. Sorry to say it like this, but you look like shit.
I'm fine, I think. What happened? I just remember Lucaine and my mother.
Your mother? You mean the Shaper?
Yes, it's hard to explain. She was in some kind of stasis when my father found her, and my father used her for his experiments. I don't know how to say this, but the bloodburn, it was her doing. When my father died, she tried to call out to me by telepathy. It's what caused the plague.
All right, I think her head wound is worse than we thought.
It's the truth, Iria. And Lucaine didn't only want me to stop the bloodburn. He needed me to lead him to my mother, so he could use her as a source of the archfire.
Well, that's a lot to take in, I guess. But why your mother? You're speaking metaphorically, right?
I'm not. She's my mother.
All right. Start over, from the beginning. What happened when you walked into that chamber? I'm sorry, but that sounds absurd. Utterly absurd.
Well, I doubt she's lying, King Regent. And actually, it makes sense. It explains a lot, for example, why she could activate the portals, enter Mullendir, and why she had this vision. Though I have to admit, it's not what I expected from our little trip to the Eye. Not at all.
Speaking of which, how did we get out of that dungeon?
Well, as you know, I was unconscious too, so I can only tell you what the soldiers told me. But after that explosion, it was as if the skies had started raining fire. Lucaine's soldiers panicked and rushed into the dungeon to save him. It must have also alarmed our troops who were waiting at the borders. They marched in and used the confusion to get us out too. I mean, at the time, the Purity still thought we were allies and vice versa. In other words, we got lucky.
Neither did I. But now it's my turn. Why in blazes are you here, Lord Marshal? And how long was I out for?
It's just anger now. I think we've moved past the titles. And to answer your question, you were out for 5 weeks.
5 weeks?
Yes. To be honest, if your vital signs hadn't remained steady, we would have assumed you were dead.
Which leads us to your mother. You mentioned something about Lucaine banishing her into some kind of amulet?
Yes. He somehow absorbed her spirit to gain access to the Archfire. That's what my father had always tried, and why he created me in the first place.
And I assume, by Archfire, you're talking about some extremely powerful source of magic.
The source of all magic, yes.
So the theories are true. Well, at least now we have an explanation.
An explanation of what?
Well, the Harbinger has gone rampant. Briefly put, the Purity of Light has taken over almost all of Leonida. The Eye, Greyfell, Greykeep, everything.
Greykeep? How is that possible?
They were already in the keep when Lucaine gave the order, and we simply didn't expect it. It wasn't even a fight. It was a massacre. And yes, I know what you're about to say. But it's my fault, because I tolerated the Purity in the first place. And you're right. I've made mistakes, and hundreds, thousands of people had to pay the price.
What about the Queen? Is she...
She's alive. The Harbinger knows he can't kill her, because if he does and word gets out, then he might lose the common folk's support. According to our spies, the Queen's Guard and the Purity have struck some kind of bargain.
Wait, the Purity controls the keep, and the Queen's Guard just plays along?
Yes, it sounds absurd, I know. But the Queen's Guard first responsibility lies with the safety of the Queen. Whatever is necessary to protect her, they do it. Though I doubt Lekain's long-term plan sees the Queen at his side, which is just another reason to hurry.
But why? Why start a war against all of Northander?
To prepare Io for the arrival of Aeonir. You remember that nonsense his priests always